Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with a review of SummerSlam 2009 from the WWE Network. I had a ton of fun watching this show, and I highly recommend this is one you guys go check out. SummerSlam 2009, of course, is when WWE moved the biggest party of the summer to the Los Angeles area. It was held at the Staples Center the first year that they held the SummerSlam Access. During this show, they made a big deal about SummerSlam Access. They showed it off, and we're almost trying to make SummerSlam have the same feel of a WrestleMania. I don't know if at this time if it was a plan for LA to keep SummerSlam for so long, but I can honestly say that after I didn't attend SummerSlam 2009. 2010 was my first SummerSlam, but being able to attend all these accesses in a row, it's pretty cool to see what this grew from. If you look at it, the scenes from Access that they showed during the show, basically. It still has the same look and the same feel. It just changed a few different things along the way. This show, to me, honestly, was a great show. There was only one thing that really annoyed me, and that would be D-Generation X. This would be, I guess, the fourth reunion of DX. I think it would be the third time that they restarted the Triple H and Shawn Michaels deal, and every time it just wore a little thin. They had their moments. I mean, it was funny. Once they got into the ring, it was always a good match. There's nothing wrong with the DX versus Legacy deal. That match is actually really, really good, and it was a good long feud for those guys. But I don't know, the whole opening of the show with the comedy with them, they started doing the Looney Tunes style sketch with the open of the film with them doing like the animals you would make in a flashlight, or like if you're in your school and they're running a projector, and that's exactly what they're trying to do, where basically they break the projector. It wears very thin, and I didn't like it at all. This show started off with an awesome match. Rey Mysterio against Dolph Ziggler. It was hard for me to remember what Dolph Ziggler was like in 2009. Honestly, he's still the same character. He still has the same look. And this guy has been, kicking ass and having like one of the best matches on the show for a long time. Rey Mysterio came in the Intercontinental Champion and he left with it. Dolph wasn't able to pull off the win, but both of these guys looked great. Dolph, to me, how this guy hasn't gotten a bigger piece of the pie, because back in 2009, I can't remember what year he debuted in. I honestly thought that he was gonna go somewhere, and he hasn't really got there. I mean, he got the World Heavyweight Championship the night after WrestleMania, and he lost it because of a concussion. He hasn't really gotten it back, and he hasn't really found a spot to be in. But it's cool to see what this is. MVP and Jack Swagger had a match. For some reason, I thought this was the United States Championship. It doesn't look like that's the way it's listed here on the stats thing I'm looking at, but this was another good match. Swagger, of course, had come over to Raw from ECW at the time. He was sort of in that mid-card slot. You can think that, 6 months from now, he would be winning the winning the Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania, cashing in and becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. But him and MVP really worked in the ring. Very, very good match. And one that I highly recommend. I don't know if there's ever going to be a Jack Swagger Best of DVD, but it would be on there. Jericho. This is the tag team that honestly I sort of had forgotten about. Chris Jericho and the Big Show joined up to make a tag team. They were the Unified World Tag Team Champions. They had the SmackDown blue belt, and they also had the I guess you can say it's the classic, but the classic to me is always the one like the Demolition and the Hart Foundation had, but the one that had like the wrestling grapplers on the side of the tag belts. They went up against Crime Time. This was a weird match. The finish came very weird. Shad and Big Show fell out of the ring. Chris Jericho held JTG in the walls of Jericho, and they were making it look like JTG was going to tap out. He climbed all the way over to the ropes, and there was it looked like Big Show and Shad were supposed to be selling, or maybe they just didn't know the timing right. But at one point you see Shad climbing. I'm sorry, he's laying on the floor. He's knocked out, but JTG is climbing towards the ropes to grab him, and Big Show's just sort of standing there, not really doing anything. JTG grabs the rope, and the ref asks for a rope break. As the ref is dragging Jericho away, Big Show just punches him right in the face. Why Shad's laying on the ground, not doing anything, and just waiting for Jericho to do this, I have no clue. But it was a good match. It just had a weird finish to me. It was almost like it was like a 2 out of 3 falls or something like that, or maybe an elimination. It felt like an elimination style match because Show and Shad were out of the match for so long. Why Shad wouldn't jump in the ring and try to break up the walls, I got no clue. From there we go to Kane versus Great Khali. I'm honestly going to tell you that I have no memory of this match at all. I don't know what happened, how I missed it. I don't even really remember them coming out to the ring. From there we went to DX going up against Legacy. Of course, this was the big long feud where basically Legacy kept on beating up Triple H. Triple H called Shawn Michaels and asked him to come back and basically be his friend, restart D-Generation X, and they had a good long feud with Legacy. They went to like didn't they have a Hell in the Cell match? They had some sort of a cage match. I can remember off the top of my head. I can't remember if they had a cell match or not. I remember basically Triple H being locked out of something, and basically it was a submission match, and Shawn ended up submitting, and Legacy got the win over him. I'm not sure what that was, but I think it was a Hell in the Cell. I'm not sure though. But basically DX and Legacy, I honestly forgot how good Cody Rhodes was. I remember that when I was sitting at WrestleMania 26, and they had the Triangle Legacy match going on. I really thought that basically that was going to be the end of Cody Rhodes. I thought that Orton already was a star. I was picking DiBiase to get the win in that match, and I was basically thinking that Cody was going to be an afterthought, probably more than likely released before the next year's WrestleMania with nothing really for him, especially with all those NXT guys that were coming up at the time. He was either just going to fall out of the fans' eyes or just nothing. From there, Christian beat William Regal in a very weird match. They showed both of these guys come down to the ring. They get in the ring, and within 8 seconds, Christian pins William Regal. And before the 3 count is even down, Ezekiel Jackson and Vladimir Kozlov jump in the ring, and they just start beating up Christian. They leave him laying there in the center of the ring. William Regal gets up and celebrates like he won the match. I guess they were just setting up, trying to get people to watch ECW to see what the hell just happened and what they were doing right there. But then we go to Randy Orton versus John Cena. It was a match for the WWE Championship. This was a fun match, but the ending of this match really takes away from it. It has 4 finishes. Basically, we have one finish where Randy Orton is getting beat up by John Cena, and the only way he knows to escape is he gets disqualified by shoving down the referee. Once he gets to the back, basically Vince McMahon, he doesn't come on camera, but he tells the announcer, Lillian Garcia, to restart the match, and if Randy Orton is disqualified again, he will lose the WWE Championship. From there, we go to Randy Orton getting counted out of the match, as he just basically trying to hit the bricks for Lillian Garcia to say once again that the match needs to be restarted, and Orton can't get counted out. From there, we go to Orton is in there. He's about to have a submission locked on him, and then we have a fan run into the ring, and then the fan interrupts the match, and as they're trying to stop the match and then trying to restart it, Orton hits the RKO on John Cena. 1, 2, 3, and they get the win. I can understand that as a finish because basically I had never seen it before, but after I watched this show, I watched SummerSlam 2005, and that's exactly the same way that the Orton match ended with The Undertaker. So I was like, sort of felt cheated when I watched The Undertaker one today. I was like, hey, we just saw this. And then we go to the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match, CM Punk against Jeff Hardy. This easily was an awesome match. This was near the ending of Jeff Hardy. I think he left shortly after this match. I think he left on the SmackDown after this is when they did I think it was the SmackDown after SummerSlam is when they did the career match with CM Punk. But Punk basically gets the win in this. Very cool ending to this is as CM Punk is celebrating over Jeff Hardy. The lights start to flicker and the lights go out. And then when they come back on, CM Punk notices that Undertaker isn't coming down to the ring through the From the entranceway, there's no, smoke coming up or no lightning or anything like that. So he sort of shakes it off, and he tends to, hold the belt up over what he thinks is Jeff Hardy. And then we just see Undertaker laying there on the ground. He had replaced Jeff Hardy's body on the ground. And Punk finally catches eyes of him as Undertaker sits up, hits the big choke slam, and there we are off and running with Undertaker versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. Honestly, an awesome show. One that I really wish I was there. Honestly, 2010 would be my first SummerSlam, and I wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for my good friend, Freaking 88. Miguel was actually the one who greased the wheels to get that trip all together. But I'm sure a lot of you guys know that story. Basically because you guys have been viewing for a long time, so I won't waste your time. But definitely go to the network out, check out SummerSlam 2009. It'll get you pumped up in the mood for the big show. And that's coming up, Cena versus Lesnar. It's going to be a great one. I don't know if I'm going to knock out the 2005 review. I just finished watching that show with Hogan versus Shawn. That was another good one. So that review will be up sooner than later. Peace out, everybody.